Dedicated Call of Duty players are spending $70 to play Black Ops 6, only to die 10 times in a row without even having a chance to fight back. This is happening to thousands of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 players right now, and the community has reached its breaking point.
Fix the game!
These spawn issues are one of gaming's most frustrating problems that plagued the series for over 15 years, and it's worse than ever in Black Ops 6. What we've uncovered isn't just a minor inconvenience, it's a fundamental flaw that's threatening to unravel one of gaming's biggest franchises. Players are reporting that they're spawning directly in enemy sightlines, sometimes dying instantly before they can even move their character. This isn't just happening on small maps anymore, it's becoming a widespread issue across the entire game, and the community's frustration is reaching a boiling point. Take the map Stakeout, for example. One player recently shared footage that looks more like a comedy sketch than a competitive gameplay. They spawned in the same spot 3 times in a row, only to be immediately picked off by an enemy camping on the opposite balcony. In the footage, you can literally see the player's character materialize and drop dead within a fraction of a second. There's no counterplay, no chance for reaction, just an endless cycle of death and respawning. But here's where things get really concerning. This isn't just a small map problem anymore. The larger map Subsonic is experiencing the same issues. Think about that for a second. On a map big enough to give players plenty of breathing room, somehow the game still manages to drop players right into the crosshairs of waiting enemies. It's like the game is actively working against its own players. The impact of these spawn issues goes far deeper than just frustration. Different playstyles are being affected in unique and problematic ways. Aggressive players find themselves unable to build any momentum, constantly reset by poor spawns, just as they're trying to make a play. Strategic players who try to control map areas are inadvertently turning into spawn campers, even when they're not trying to exploit the system. And new players? They're getting the worst experience of all, often dying before they can even learn the maps or understand what's happening. Let's dive into exactly how spawn logic is supposed to work in a well-designed game. In an ideal scenario, the system needs to carefully consider multiple factors working in harmony. A properly functioning spawn system must account for the distance between players and their enemies, ensuring enough space for fair gameplay. This means analyzing the entire map in real time, understanding where every player is, and calculating safe zones that give newly spawned players a fighting chance. The system needs to verify that spawning players are protected from direct lines of sight, preventing instant deaths. This involves complex ray casting calculations that check multiple angles and potential sight lines. The position of teammates plays a crucial role too, as grouping with allies can provide immediate support and map control. In previous Call of Duty games, this teammate positioning was a key factor in determining safe spawn locations. Objective locations need careful consideration to maintain a competitive balance. In modes like Domination or Hardpoint, spawns need to give both teams fair access to objectives while preventing one team from gaining an unfair advantage through spawn manipulation. The system must also avoid recent death locations to prevent frustrating spawn loops, a feature that seems completely absent in Black Ops 6. Most importantly, the spawn system should understand the natural flow of the map and which zones are currently under each team's control. This map flow concept has been a cornerstone of Call of Duty design since the original Modern Warfare, but in Black Ops 6, it seems to have been completely forgotten. The history of spawn systems in Call of Duty reveals just how far we've regressed. Back in 2007's Modern Warfare, spawn issues were present but manageable. Maps were designed with clear spawn zones and flow patterns that players could learn and understand. As the series evolved through Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1, spawn systems became more sophisticated, incorporating more variables and fail-safes to prevent the very issues we're seeing today. By the time we reached advanced movement games like Black Ops 3, developers had implemented multiple layers of spawn protection. Players would get a brief moment of invulnerability upon spawning, allowing them to assess their surroundings and make informed decisions. The spawn logic itself was more intelligent too, factoring in player momentum and vertical spaces to accommodate the new movement mechanics. What's particularly baffling about Black Ops 6's situation is that previous Call of Duty games had already solved many of these problems. The spawn protection system that gave players a brief window of invulnerability, usually around 2-3 seconds, was a simple but effective solution. This basic feature prevented instant deaths and gave players a fighting chance to assess their surroundings and respond to threats. Yet somehow, this basic quality of life feature is missing from Black Ops 6. The competitive scene has been hit particularly hard. Professional players and competitive teams are finding their strategies completely disrupted by unpredictable unpredictable spawns. Tournament matches, where thousands of dollars are on the line, are being decided by random spawn placements rather than skill and strategy. This has led to widespread criticism from the competitive community, with several prominent players speaking out about the need for immediate changes. The impact on casual play is equally severe. Regular matches have devolved into a strange metagame where experienced players focus less on gunfight skills and more on exploiting the broken spawn system. Some players report spending entire matches trapped in spawn cycles, unable to play the game as intended. This has led to a noticeable drop in player engagement, with many longtime fans expressing their frustration and threatening to abandon the game entirely. The community has begun extensive documentation of these issues. Players are mapping out death zones, areas where spawns are particularly problematic. Using recording software and community collaboration, they've created detailed heat maps showing where most spawn deaths occur. These community efforts have revealed patterns that should have been caught during game testing, raising questions about the quality assurance process for Black Ops 6. Treyarch, the game's developer, has historically been praised for their responsiveness to community feedback. They've already addressed several major issues since launch, including problems with the iconic zombies mode and weapon balance concerns. However, the spawn logic issue remains untouched, leading many players to wonder if it's even fixable without a complete overhaul of the system. The spawn system in Black Ops 6 has become a major sticking point for players. Reports of unfair respawns leading to immediate eliminations. Even the developers have felt the sting, humorously admitting in a recent patch note, "Yes, we saw ourselves in a kill cam before selecting a loadout too." This patch aims to address these frustrations by adjusting general spawn logic across multiple maps. However, the developers caution that spawn tuning will be an ongoing process, requiring constant data review and gameplay analysis to ensure safer spawn points without tipping the balance unfairly. The effort highlights a broader challenge in multiplayer games, striking a balance between convenience and competitive integrity. In addition to spawn fixes, the latest updates tackle weapon balancing. Assault rifles now have reduced damage ranges and diminished close-range headshot effectiveness, while submachine guns gain improved mid-range performance. Shotgun slugs, once infamous for body shot one-hit kills, have also been toned down. According to the developers, these changes aim to maintain versatility while refining the intended roles of each weapon type. This approach reflects the continuous tweaking required to keep the game's fast-paced multiplayer both fair and engaging. But it's clear that community feedback will remain crucial in shaping Black Ops 6 as it evolves. The economic impact of these spawn issues shouldn't be understated. Players are reporting spending less time in the game, leading to decreased engagement with the battle pass and cosmetic systems. Content creators, who drive much of the game's popularity and marketing, have begun shifting away from Black Ops 6 content entirely, citing the spawn system as a major reason for their departure. This creates a ripple effect throughout the entire Call of Duty ecosystem. While the gaming community waits for a fix, an interesting pattern is emerging in the player base. Some veterans are developing strategies to exploit these spawn points, leading to an unexpected meta where map knowledge isn't just about power positions. It's about predicting the game's broken spawn system. But is this really how Call of Duty should be played? The implications for the future of the franchise are significant. As competitive gaming continues to grow, fundamental issues like spawn logic can no longer be ignored. The next few months will be crucial for Black Ops 6, and the decisions made about this core gameplay system could reshape how future Call of Duty games approach this long-standing problem. The question isn't just whether they can fix it anymore, it's whether they can revolutionize it before it's too late. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to leave your thoughts down below, and don't forget to catch our next video, shown on screen.